Here we go. It's Friday, June 19th, 2020. This is another episode of the Remodelers Show. The Remodelers Show. This is the conclusion of the second full week of this. We're doing it again all next week. That following week, we're going to take a week off because I'm on vacation. But we're going to go 3 weeks in a row, Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you ever want the link to the live stream on YouTube or on Facebook, if you go to theremodelersshow.com, it's got a button you can click that'll take you to a playlist of all the previous episodes, and also 2 buttons to get the live stream each day. The live stream can be found at remodelerscommunity.com through the private Facebook group or via YouTube. Hope you guys had a wonderful week. Today's show is going to be a little different in the format. We can kind of test things out, try something new. But per every episode, for the people watching live, I see you out there, type in the comments. Maybe something you've learned from the Remodelers Show so far. Maybe something you've worked to implement so far. Or I will pause and see if anybody has any specific questions for me as we move through today's show. I will keep it on the same cadence, same rhythm by having a lovely little intro.
This is Tony Dixon with Premier Building and Remodeling here in Richland, Michigan. And this is the increasingly popular Remodelers Show, hosted by the man with the marketing plan and everyone's cheerleader, Kyle Hunt.
Thank you, Tony. That was Tony Dixon with Premier Building and Remodeling. What did he say? The increasingly popular. It's interesting when you start something new. I'm feeling a little momentum with the show. And what did he say? He said the man with the marketing plan and everyone's cheerleader. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate you taking a minute to that intro. I'll share just a few things about Tony Dixon with Premier Building and Remodeling and Executive Home Repair. Ken Simon is a longtime client of mine, and he's part of one of my Remodeler Circle mastermind groups here in Michigan. And Ken brought Tony into my world. It's been, I don't know, how long has it been? 4 years-ish, maybe 5 years. Tony had a career as a police officer and had an injury that took him out of that career. And as he was kind of getting back on his feet, Ken and Tony had been longtime friends. And Ken said, I've got this remodeling business. I could use some help. Why don't you come and start to help me out here? And has continued to grow in that partnership at this point. Something that I just wanted to share that's kind of interesting that I think ties in, and it's interesting to think about for anybody listening to this, is Tony's career as a police officer and seeing how that's blended into his role as a salesperson, as a project manager of projects. I wrote down a few things. His ability to develop relationships has been so key. His comfort level in talking to people. His personality's got a big personality, and that certainly helps. His caring heart, his ability to handle tough conversations. As a remodeler, there's a lot of things that come at us out of the blue. There's tough conversations to have. There's challenges and difficulties. And given Tony's past and his career before, I think he's just able to keep all of that in the proper perspective. And I think as you mature as a business owner, that is something that I see remodelers continue to improve. Can we take a problem that arises, because we know there's going to be problems as a remodeler, can we keep that in the proper perspective? Can we lean into having those difficult conversations with a client, with a trade partner, with an employee? That's something that Tony has had to do for years and years and years. And I just see that as such a skill that he has in the business. The other thing is it's been fun to see how Ken and Tony, who were friends before, have been able to build a really nice partnership. Our part, what does Dave Ramsey say? The only ship that sinks is a partnership. I've seen some successful partnerships. I've seen some non-successful partnerships, but their ability to continue to be friends and make sure that work doesn't interfere with that has been something that they've navigated really well. I'm very proud of them for that. So there's a little bit about the gentleman who introed today's show, and I thank you for that. So today's format's going to be a little bit different. One thing that I'm enjoying about the show, my wife asked me yesterday, she's like, how's it going? And I said, it's allowing me to organize kind of my talking points and the things that I like to teach. The other thing that I've desired to do ever since I started my business 12 years ago is the key 10, 12, 15 things that I just want to drill into remodelers' heads. It's hard to do that when you create a piece of content here, then you maybe send an email 2 weeks later, and then you make a post here. What I'm seeing through this show is the ability to continue to bring up themes. You know, we as marketers, and guess what? If you run a remodeling business, you're a marketer. That's one of your hats you wear. We underappreciate how often somebody needs to hear a message in order to remember it or to take action on it. When we are getting to the point where we're kind of sick of saying certain things, we're finally getting to the point where we've probably been saying it enough to kind of break through and for people to really understand that point of view or that idea that we have to share. So that's one thing I've enjoyed about the Remodeler show is that I'm able to really hammer home themes over and over again. So today's show is just hammering home 12 things. Wow, Kyle, you could have started with like 3 things, but just 12 quick ones. In the Remodelers Community private Facebook group, which is just a free Facebook group that has just a bunch of really, really lovely, wonderful, helpful, smart remodelers in it. One of the things I've been doing this week is just posting little quick hits, just little reminders, and they've gotten a lot of engagement, a lot of likes, and a lot of comments. And I thought, you know what, for today's show, I'm just going to share each one of those, add my 2 cents to it, and just kind of hammer home some of these key points. So one of them is this: how you finish the job is more important than how you start it. Work hard to finish strong. How you finish the job is more important than how you start it. Work hard to finish strong. Hey, remodeler listening to this, I see you guys out there. Are you putting in the extra effort it takes to finish a job strong? That last 5% is the hardest. Also, that last 5% is probably 80% of how that client is going to remember you. You might have knocked it out of the park. We started this job so well. We had crazy momentum. We were knocking this out. Whoop-de-stinking-do if you trip over the finish line. If you don't knock out those final items. If you just let it drag on and on without knocking out that last couple percent, that you don't have a good meeting at the end to just recap the project and get their feedback. So that reminder that work hard to finish strong, how you finish the job is more important than you start, is just a reminder that I think is important for you guys and gals to hear. So that's the first one. Let me check these off as I go. No sound effects today, Kyle? Let's do a little chime every time. Boom, number 1. Second one. If you're not doing it already, start charging for design and project development. It's a valuable service you're offering. If you're not doing it already, start charging for design and project development. It is a valuable service you're offering. We cannot be chasing every opportunity and lead that comes in. In order to do a remodeling project well, it requires a lot of upfront planning and design. Maybe a project that doesn't require a lot of design, but it's certainly, even those still require a lot of planning, a lot of decisions, a lot of selections, a lot of work on your part to put detailed specifications and more of a guaranteed budget together. So if you're not charging for your design and project development, if you say things like, nobody else is doing it in my area, I've tried that and it doesn't work, I have attempted to implement that, it was clunky, I've gotten away from it. Or, sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. I want to encourage you to really sink into it and work at improving it. If you send an email to me today, because Bailey's off today, if you send an email to Kyle@remodelyourmarketing.com, Kyle@remodelyourmarketing.com, and say, Kyle, send me a lesson to help me improve my design and project development, I'm going to send you a link to that, to a session from one of my paid courses. It's a very important thing. When you get that nailed, it helps so much in your ability to take a prospect and turn it into a paying project, and also to make sure you're not wasting time. That was the second one. We're cruising right along. I'm going to share, after maybe the third or fourth one, we're going to do a quick little comment check. Share your comments, share your takeaways, share your questions. The third one. During the sales process, always schedule your next meeting before you end the current meeting. Self-imposed deadlines, ! During the sales process, always schedule your next meeting before you end the current meeting. Self-imposed deadlines. If we end the meeting and say, okay, cool, I'm going to work on the revisions that we talked about to this design, and then I'll be back in touch with you. Sounds good on the surface, but the reality that happens more times than we'd like to admit is that your good intentions of getting back to them early that next week all of a sudden turns to mid to late next week, and you go, crap, I haven't finished that yet. I haven't done that yet, because you're busy, because there's so many things you need to do as a remodeler. When you give yourself a self-imposed deadline, you will keep the project moving at a better clip. We all work better off of deadlines. If you knew that you're meeting with them at Tuesday at 4 o'clock, and you just wrapped up a meeting today and you have it scheduled, let's schedule our next meeting for Tuesday at 4 o'clock, you will get those revisions done. If you say, hey, let's touch base next Tuesday and I should have this done by then, there's a way higher percentage chance that that's not going to happen. So this keeps the project moving along. It reduces the cycle time, which is critical to keep a project moving through design and development and get it signed. And it is this idea of self-imposed deadlines. This is an idea that if you're not doing it and you're struggling with it and you implement it and take it seriously, can really, really, really help. And I'm saying that not based on some hypothesis, but by seeing dozens of remodelers do this better and it making a huge difference. Boom, there's the third one. We're cruising right along. I see some comments on here. I love all these reminders over and over again. Yes, Ron, we just need to hear it, right? And Kyle, you're starting to sound like a broken record. Good. Dave Ramsey's been doing his show for 20 plus years. He says the same crap over and over and over again, but in different contexts, in different ways, in different stories, in different examples. We need to hear these things, right? So that's part of what I'm enjoying about the show, is that I'm reminding over and over again, we need to hear that. Rhonda says we all need to hear that quadruple ! Hubby mentioned you last night was, oh, so sweet. So sweet, Mr. Bergen. Why am I drawing a blank on your husband's name right now, Rhonda? Help me out. Think. Come on, help me out. Mr. Bergen right now. You'll put his name in there in a second. He mentioned you last night with scheduling. Thank you, Brad. Hubby mentioned last night with scheduling before leaving the appointment. It is huge for him. It's huge for everybody that starts to do that self-imposed deadlines work. Cool. Awesome. All right. We're going to keep on cruising with today's show. Put this back up there. And the fourth one. What do we got here? I'm going to check them off as they go. Let's do this. If, and I put it in caps, that's a big if. That's a big if. You're not able to present your proposal in person, at least present it via Zoom. Emailing lowers your close rate. I was talking to one of my clients in Minnesota earlier in the week, and I was hitting him with this. I'm going, hey, I heard through the grapevine that you've been emailing your proposals out. Yeah, I've been doing that. I heard it through his wife. Sometimes I put husbands and wives against each other, and I use it to improve my coaching. And he goes, yeah, I'm doing that. And I said, tell me about your last few jobs you signed. And he goes, well, this one. I said, did you email those proposals to those people that you signed, or did you present those in person? And he goes, no, I presented those in person. And then he said these magic words, when I present it in person, I close more of them than when I email it. Huh. You are correct, sir. Emailing lowers close rate. Now, the reason you email it is not because you're lazy, but because there's only so much time in the day. I'm empathetic. I understand. But we need to make it a point in our sales process to present our proposals in person. If you email it, they're going to the end. They're going to look at the number and go, that was a little higher than I thought. And then they're going to have that in their mind, and they're not really going to look that closely at it. When you're presenting it to them and you're able to show them the price, but then also go back and review it and how you got there and handle any comments or questions or objections they have to it, it helps tremendously in building value in that and them understanding what you charge and then you closing business. At least, so the second part of that, yes, we want to present in person. And maybe you say, anything under 10,000, okay, I'm going to maybe not meet in person. Anything over, maybe you have a little line of demarcation if you're generating a lot of leads, but at least present it via Zoom. Everybody's comfortable with Zoom now. Everybody's familiar with it. You can be looking at each other, share your screen, going through that proposal. Some of my clients are starting to lean into that and saying, you know what? When I present that first proposal, or especially a second one, I'm telling them we're going to meet via Zoom because they're finding it more convenient. It's 85% as effective as if we were in person. Not 100%, but 85%. And it saves them time and hassle, and it keeps things moving quickly. So that's something to consider. And then thirdly, at the very, very, very least, create a Loom, Loom video where you're at least showing your video and you're talking them through what that you're showing them on the screen. You know, hey, on the proposal, when you get to the bottom of page 1, I have 2 options here. We talked about this one and this one. What I would really encourage you to do is go with option 1. It's $1,200 more expensive than this one, but let me tell you why I think it makes sense for you guys. You just go through it and present it to them. You click a button, you have a link, you're able to send that to them. So some ideas there again. If, that's a big if, you're not able to present your proposal in person, at least present it via Zoom, or at least create a Loom video so there's some explanation behind it. Emailing lowers close rate. That was number 4. Number 5, be excited about their project. When you talk to a homeowner and you're excited, that excitement is contagious. Be excited about their project. When you talk to a homeowner and you're excited, that excitement is contagious. What do I need to add to that? It's true, right? Sometimes you're stressed. Sometimes you're thinking about 20 other things. A quote from Jim Rohn, wherever you are, be there. Wherever you are, be there. Meaning if you're in an appointment, be there. Focus. Turn off all the other stuff. Limit your distractions. Before you walk in there, say, okay, here's where I am. This is what a wonderful opportunity for me. This is a prospective client. Okay, be present. Be fully present. Bring your A game. Let's go. That's important. And also just the excitement that you bring to a project and saying, hang on, I got a really cool idea for you guys. What if you did this? Or there's a million different examples, but I think you get what I'm saying. Be excited about their project. That makes a big difference. Frankly, that idea actually came back to me because I heard one of my clients here recently. Anytime one of my clients, says, "Yeah, I signed a project the other day," I always ask, "Hey, where did that lead come from?" Just to get a feel for what leads are converting. And then I also ask, any insight into why they chose you. And when I asked that to a client of mine here locally a few weeks ago, he said, "You know what they said? They said this, Kyle. It's funny you asked that. They said that my excitement and energy and really desire to do the job stood out to them. They just really saw it and appreciated it and made them excited." Also meaning the other person they were talking to was frazzled, was probably not that excited, was just going through the motions. It matters. It matters. Check your excitement level and put a little bit more oomph behind that. Chime means the next one. That was number 5. Number 6. Mail out a handwritten thank you card after initial in-person meeting. It's a little thing that will stand out. Mail out a handwritten thank you card after the initial in-person meeting. It's a little thing that will stand out. It's a simple idea. If you have it as part of your process that you just have a little thank you card, maybe you already have most of the spiel. Thanks so much for having us out to the home. We're super excited about the opportunity to look at your project. You put a little sentence in there, maybe something related to that meeting you just had with them. Look forward to talking to you next Tuesday. Thanks so much. Stick that in an envelope, get that sucker mailed. They're going to see it a couple days later. I like to send it at the end of the first in-person meeting. I've seen that to have the most bang for the buck. And if you can do this consistently, it is a little thing. Running a successful remodeling business is not about finding some magic bullet, finding some secret weapon. It is a combination of a lot of little things. And a handwritten thank you card is such a little thing. A lot of my clients now have it where, whatever you kind of take out with you onto that initial meeting, you've got your project discovery sheet and all of your notes. You've got maybe your little marketing kit where you've got kind of your our difference, our process example of a design retainer. And their office manager oftentimes will attach the blank thank you card with the address already filled out, with the stamp already on it, so that I don't have another item or two to do. I just have to fill out that thank you card, stuff it in there, done, which that doesn't seem like a big difference to having an address, but it does. It matters to do it consistently. Mail out these thank you cards, my friends. It works. It stands out. It differentiates you. That was number 6. Number 7, have a dead lead, somebody that you followed up with that hasn't been going anywhere. You have a dead lead, send this email with this subject line. It's called the 10-word email. Are you still thinking about remodeling your kitchen in city name? The subject line of the email. Are you still thinking about remodeling your home in, put their city name in there. The body of the email says, let me know. And then it's got your email signature. It doesn't say, if you are, well, blah, 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 blah. It's short, it's expecting a reply, and it's personalized. Especially for leads that you followed up a few times, you haven't heard back from them. It gets a way higher percentage of response than you would normally think for the types of people that you're sending it to, which are people that have been disconnected. And sometimes you'll hear, you know what, we actually decided to hold off. You know what, we actually decided to go with somebody else. Other times you go, you know, we got busy, everything's crazy. We actually are still interested. But a lot of times it'll help you get an answer. So that's just a little sales follow-up tip that's worked really well for my clients. It's called the 10-word email. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 8. This is a quick one from yesterday. If you want to hear me rant on it a little bit more, you can look up yesterday's episode, Thursday, June the 18th. And it just says, raise your markup 1% today, ! You'll still sell the job, and it will lead to thousands of additional gross profit dollars this year. And then I put in all caps, ! Do it. It warms my heart that I saw several people who said, Kyle, I went into my estimating spreadsheet and I did it. Continue to drive up what you charge. Doggone it, you are worth it. Doggone it, all of your other costs are going up. Doggone it, you're still going to sell the projects. You need to continue to drive up what you charge for projects. I would say, as I work with remodelers over the last 12 years, there's a very, very large percentage who are not charging enough for their work, which doesn't allow them to generate the gross profit dollars they need to continue to hire and grow their business and be a solid business. So continue to push that, even just 1%. You don't even have to think to do that. Just mark it up 1% more, and then maybe next week do it again. But at least start by doing it now. So that's just a little reminder, little encouragement to push that up. All right, we're cruising along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go the next one here. Tell prospects your story and why you love what you do. Tell them about your team and how great they are. Build, know, like, and trust. Yes, we want to be listening to them. Yes, we want to be hearing their story and what's going on with their project. But too many times, we don't take the time to explain why you're passionate about what you do, the history of your business, why you started your business, what you care about as far as delivering to the homeowners. We also have opportunities throughout the sales process to highlight certain employees that we have, to be able to tell a prospect and say, we have a little situation. What did you say, Thomas? What did you say? No, you have to find her. Working from home, boy wonder, who's 13, almost 14, I heard him yell towel, and I thought he may be in the bathroom without a towel, and I thought we had an emergency situation during the Remodeler show, but it turns out he's just packing his bag because he's going to a buddy's to their lake today and swimming. As we were. Tell prospects your story. There's so much, and there's so many times during the process that you can share. The way our company runs is, Chuck is the one who is our project manager. He's the one that, as we move forward in the project and we get to the production side, you'll meet him during the pre-construction meeting that we have. When we move, before we start construction, we have a pre-construction meeting where we go over all of the details on the project. I'm getting a little goosebumps talking about this because this is such an important thing to do. It's such an effective thing to do. Think about telling that prospect about your pre-construction meeting and why you do it. Crap, these guys are organized. Wow, they've got a process. You're introducing your team. Chuck's been with us, for 15 years. He's exceptional. He keeps an eye on everything related to the project. You're going to know the schedule coming up. He takes care of ordering all of the materials, lining everything up. He's personable. You're going to love him. You're telling me that if you share that with me during the sales process, that doesn't warm me up and make me feel more comfortable and build know, like, and trust with me? How often do you talk about your team? How often do you personalize and personify, the rest of your team? We rarely think about that. And there's all kinds of ways to do that and incorporate that smoothly into your sales process. Take that to heart. Figure out some ways that you can do that. So the punchline of that was, again, tell prospects your story and why you love what you do. Tell them about your team, how great they are. Build know, like, and trust. All right. Any comments? The comments are rolling in a little bit slower today, even though we have similar number of people watching live, but that's okay. We're just going to keep cruising through this next one and the next format. I've got a few more, and then we'll have wrapped up our week on the Remodelers show. The next one is, your previous clients are your most valuable marketing asset. Do you have a plan to stay in touch with them consistently? Your previous clients are your most valuable marketing asset. Why do I say that? You've already built know, like, and trust with them. If you look closely at where your revenue is coming from and where your leads are coming from, where your paying projects are coming from, most likely one of your top lead sources, if not the top, is coming from repeat work from previous clients or referrals from previous clients. That list of people, that group of people, is your most valuable marketing asset. What is your plan to stay in touch with them consistently? How about one phone call a year? How about staying in touch once a month with a professional email newsletter? Oh, you don't have time for that? Go to remodelersautopilot.com. We'll take care of that for you. You can try it out for $1 for the first month. If you're not staying in touch with your previous clients, start there. Go to remodelersautopilot.com. So that was a little plug, I'll admit it, but you should sign up for that and join all the other remodelers who have and that are consistently staying in touch and driving repeat and referral work. You should maybe have one event a year, especially after the Corona times, that we invite clients to. If you're doing a home show, yes, they should be getting free tickets from you. If you're doing a parade of homes, yes, you should be offering some free tickets to your previous clients. One of my clients, Red Oak Remodeling, hi, Laura and Paul, just did a historic home tour in York, Pennsylvania, where they had about 20 or 25 clients and just did this really fun historic home tour and ended at this local brewery. One of my clients rented out a movie theater the day before the recent Star Wars movie went out and just invited clients to it, built a bunch of know, like, and trust. So how are we staying in touch with our previous clients? That's something you need to be thinking about and executing as part of your marketing plan. And one more. Two more. Google reviews are important. Google reviews are important. People see and read them, and they matter, and they factor into what people are thinking about your business. And they also help with search engine optimization, SEO. Who are you going to ask for one from? Who's a client that you could reach out to and say, you know what? I was listening to the Remodeler show with this whimsical and fun Kyle Hunt, and he said I should get some Google reviews. Or one of my goals this month for marketing my remodeling business is to get 5 new Google reviews. And I was wondering if you could do me a favor, or even start it out. Text your favorite client and say this: can you help me with something? Or can I ask you for a favor? That right there. Send a text to one of your clients and say, can I ask you for a favor? ? I bet you're 96% of that time they're going to respond back, sure, what? Now you got them, you hooked them. We're working on improving our marketing, and I really need more Google reviews. Is this something you could help me with? They're going to be helpful to do that. You might have to follow up with them a couple times. You may have to send over, if you email me at kyle@remodelyourmarketing.com, I'll send you the exact template and step-by-step that you can send to them. You just copy and paste your information in there. You can ask me for that, a Google review template. So that's important. Google reviews are important. Get on there, get some more of them. And last one, get your step-by-step remodeling process in writing and practice presenting it to prospects. It's really key. Get your process written out, just step-by-step. Write it out, high level. Okay, yep, I have initial phone call. We have initial in-person meeting. We have our project's professional services agreement. Just high level. Get that written out. Clients need to see just step-by-step how it works. Confused clients don't buy. But clients who can see step-by-step and understand the process, they're more willing, able, easier for them to buy. Okay, so that's the final thought from today's Remodeler show, which was full of reminders. What are a few takeaways you had? What did you learn today? 2-minute warning. What did you learn today? Type that in the comments. If you're watching this, the majority of people are watching this after it's live. If you're watching this after it's live, please still be engaged. I still see those comments. I still see those questions. And I'd love for more people, as they're listening after the fact, to share what their takeaway was. Cool. We posted to social media this week asking for a Google review, and sure enough, got one. Cool. What do you think about having the price at the beginning of the proposal? Jim, we talked about this actually on a remodel your sales process session I did last week, in the middle of delivering that. And the consensus was from the people that are doing it, that it works well. And it was convincing enough to a lot of other people that they said, you know what, I'm going to try that. Whether it's you actually put it at the beginning, or whether when you're presenting it, you say, look, let's take care of the elephant in the room. What's the elephant in the room? What's the price? Let's look at that first, and then let's circle back and let me tell you what's gone into that, the different options that are part of it, and go through kind of the scope of work. If you just go through the scope of work line by line by line and haven't gotten to the price, they're distracted by it. They want to know what it is. So I think it's wise to get that out there early. Okay, and Rhonda has a whole list of takeaways. Awesome. Go ahead and type those in, even if it's after the session. Love to see them. All right, folks, we have wrapped up week number 2 of the Remodeler Show. I'm enjoying it. Hope you're enjoying it. If you heard something you liked today, implement it. Talk to you guys later.